Yeah, I get that a lot too. I just want to stay below the radar.
I just want to stay below the radar.
I just don't want to call attention to myself. You know, as long as they leave me and my family alone, why should I get involved in that Iraqi vet that just got shot 60 times by the SWAT team? Nothing we can do about that. He was probably a drug dealer anyway.
Clayton, here's the thing that Americans don't understand about our police force, and I'll make this clear. They are not victims yet, but they haven't been. See, most people, when they see a cop harassing somebody, they feel, well, it doesn't directly affect me. But what they don't understand is, if a police officer today pulls you over, they have every right to harass and fuck your life, or excuse me, mess your life up. I don't mean to use foul language, but they have every right to use physical violence against you. And so once those people, and most people get this attitude, well, as long as it doesn't personally affect me, I'm not going to fight. And that's a very unhealthy mentality or way to be thinking.
Yeah, that reminds me of the preacher. You know, they came for the Jews, and I didn't say anything because I wasn't Jewish. You know, what I'm talking about, I don't care what religion you are out there, folks.
Right.
If you want to get down on your hands and knees, stick your nose in the dirt and pray to Mecca, knock yourself out, I'll try to keep my St. Bernard off of you, okay?
Right.
Don't expect me to get down on my knees with you. And I'll say the same thing to the Jews. Don't expect me to bang my head against that Wailing Wall.
Well, I don't think Judaism is not a proselytizing religion, so I wouldn't worry about that. They keep it to themselves.
Yeah, it's kind of an apartheid thing, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it goes to show you, though, that we have a lot of... I almost think, Clayton, in a weird kind of way, that we are almost going to have to deal with a tyranny government before we have a renaissance. What do you think of that? Because it seems that there's nothing stopping this propulsion toward this tyranny. It's just, it seems it's moving forward no matter what we do. The TSA was hard. They took a mentally retarded person in Detroit and harassed him going to Disneyland. A guy that he was 29, he had a mentality of a 2-year-old, and they were physically harassing him at the airport in front of his parents. I mean, this is how bad it's getting.
This is what happens. They had grandmothers on the corners in Russia, you know, reporting on what people were doing and reporting right to the KGB. Now we got a little bit more sophisticated electronics, but there's no difference here. It's still happening here. What I've referred to myself as a canary in the coal mine because I'm so outspoken. Because I will talk about the Jews. I will talk about the Muslims. I will talk about the Bolshevik Revolution. I will talk about the Federal Reserve. I will talk about the banksters out there that are, and I will tell you that the CIA and the Mossad, that I know for a fact, and I've documented this over and over and over again, are the drug dealers. They are the ones they were simply supplying themselves. They are the drug dealers. They brought the cocaine in under 2 presidents into a nice little airport in Arkansas called Mena. They're probably bringing it in there right now, right up here just north of Tucson at Penal Air Park.
Yeah, but you know what? Your typical love authority types think that the government can do no wrong. Let me tell you something, Clayton. I work with people, and I have people around me that really, if you start talking about the government, they really get agitated. They really believe that this system works. I mean, I know people that really believe, and they're 60, 70 years old, they believe that this system works. And it's hard to believe that I'm 40, and I've had more common sense since I was 20 to realize the folly of the system. But I don't see how people go all these years and can be so stupid.
It does work to some extent. We've got Social Security. People just don't realize that you're not going to live too long past 65 with all the drugs and everything that they're being. And the drugs are milking their Social Security, so they ain't got nearly the money. And but
I'm talking about, Clayton, when you get into these conversations about what's going on with our government, most people really go with the system, and they think that, like, there are a lot of people that think at the very least, Obama's incompetent, but they don't believe that the government is purposely leading us down this new world order. They think that, I mean, it's very difficult that the way that the power of the media is so unbelievable, they don't even have to use physical violence. They've got everybody just put asleep.
You know, Bush is the one who came out and said, henceforth we pledge allegiance to a new world order. I mean, that's what got me started on this whole thing, that and what happened at Waco. So, you got your, you know, folks, if you're out there and you make the decision, I don't want to help Clay, I don't want to call attention to myself, I don't want to make a donation, I don't want to buy a book, I don't want to know, I don't want to know, I don't want to know. then you are just
Clayton,
as much part of the
biggest
problem.
fear tactic that they've used in the media, and I want your listeners to know this, they have been using the propaganda that if you speak out against the government, you'll get gang raped in prison. For 20 years, they've been playing these shows like Law and Order, where the guy's deathly afraid of going to prison because he's afraid he'll get gang raped. And yet I meet convicts all the time that say it's not like that. They're using propaganda to get people to fear what prison might be like. You know what I'm saying? It's all propaganda, and people have admitted that this is their fear. So already propaganda is making people afraid to speak out.
Well, it's, you know, I've been to prison. I've been to prison. You know, nobody gang raped me. I did, you know, I have chased a few people into the major's office where they were hiding under his desk. Right. You know, but
well, what I'm saying is the propaganda that they're using today is if you dare speak out. I've watched enough shows of Law and Order to see they make fun of. They had one episode where this guy was saying, or this woman was saying, "I don't want my kids eating the school lunches. I don't want my kids doing that." And it's all a big propaganda scam to make you think that anybody that's against the government is crazy. And yet, how do you find sanity in an insane world? And how do you know that you're? Hey, I have a good question for you. How do you know, Clayton, that you're not the one that's insane and not everyone else?
I have wondered that myself. I've wondered that myself.
I've asked myself, Steve, are you insane? Maybe you're just crazy. I mean, you have to ask that question.
I have. I said, after I got out of the hospital, I was in the hospital for 4 months. I was in there for 4 months. And after I got out of the hospital, I said, it was really strange. It was like everybody around me had gone crazy. They'd gone insane. Right. You know, Dad, we're going to put you in our old folks home, and we're taking over.
Yeah, I know. Your kids almost abandoned you too. Do you still talk to them, by the way?
I still talk to them. I spoke to them today. They're out there. They're living their own life. You know, more power to them.
They're thinking that they can live the good life. Do your children, by the way, believe that this corrupt government is going to pass? It'll figure itself out, kind of thing.
My oldest son doesn't want to hear this crap.
No, he thinks he's going to try to wallow in comfort, right?
And he's where I was when I was his age. I was raising 2 boys. I tried to keep everything. I paid the taxes. I did whatever I was supposed to. You know, I did the whole thing. Right. And then after I saw what happened in Waco, I just said I can't sit back and not do something. You know, and that's the biggest problem we got. If you realize there's a problem, right, and you accept that what I'm telling you is true, they do plan on enslaving you. They have refined the art of slavery to the point the slaves don't know they're slaves. Right,
and you know what? And we have all this infiltration in the alternative media. I have a sneaking suspicion, Clayton, that Alex Jones was a media shill from day one. I believe that he's already in a position where he's got all this $1 million technology to do his video editing. Where did he get that money to do all that fancy editing for his videos 10 years ago?
GCN stole the equipment from Mark Kernicke's people. They stole it, and they started the thing, and of course Alex went with them. I had Alex on my show. I had him speaking at my events. I helped him get started.
Right, but my question is Alex Jones just into it for the money, or do you think that he works for the Mossad or the Jews? What's your opinion of that?
Well, I don't want to put a finger on it because
he has got all these Jewish guys working for him, like that Jason Burmis, who are flat out making fun of anybody that says the word Jew. How can you believe a guy like Alex Jones? The guy is a belligerent psychopath.
Well, good propaganda is 90% the truth. Right. Alex Jones puts out good propaganda. The 10% in Alex Jones's case, and in some ways, I don't really blame him. He's got a beautiful wife. He's got 2 children.
Yeah, he does. He's got an attractive wife. He's never had to deal with divorce and she
handles his website. Right. But we were sitting around one evening after one of my expos, and I said to Alex, did you ever consider, Alex, that she might be your handler? And Alex hadn't talked to me since.
What do you mean by handler when you say the word handler?
The Mossad sends in handlers like Monica Lewinsky to
I see.
compromise
But then
or
she
control
would be a
people.
very intimate handler. She would be married to him, so she's obviously having, I mean, that would be the most intimate handler. Your own wife would be working for the Mossad?
It was just a joke.
I know, but I mean, I know it was a joke, but it seems that at some
but
level...
wait a minute. You know, I heard a rant that Alex Jones did here.
Okay.
And he was telling people, you know, you want to kill the Jews, you want to do this? No, I'm not going to go along that. My wife's Jewish, my children are Jewish, you know.
He said that?
Yeah.
Okay, so then then there's no doubt there's Jewish connections with him already.
Of course,
directly.
his children have the right of return. They are Israelis. They got dual citizen. He and his wife, and maybe he does too. I don't know. For all I know, his parents.
Yeah.
I've never gone up to anybody and gone, "Are you
Yeah.
Jewish? Let me see some lineage." I really don't give a shit. I don't
But
care.
you have to look at his actions, because anytime somebody calls him out on the Jewish question, he starts getting belligerent and starts getting loud. And once you say that, like, he has physically threatened many guests. I've heard of one time say, "I'll beat your ass. We'll come over here." You don't do that if you're trying to maintain a professional image. And he has done this on several occasions. He's not a nice guy.
I don't personally. I don't care for his attitude. I don't, and I've known him for a lot of years. I've been down there. He's been on my shows. I've been on his shows. Things like that. So,
Right.
actually, I don't think I've ever been on his show. I don't think he's ever.
But he's not doing anything productive, because all he's doing is getting you to join his website. Nobody ever takes any active role in anything with them. He hasn't done anything like create any infrastructure for anybody to do anything. He just runs his mouth. All he's doing is running a radio show. He's got that guy, that Paul Watson guy, who, I don't know who this guy is. I mean, he's got all these people around him, these so-called writers, that nobody knows their credentials or anything. They're just kind of like popping out of nowhere, you know. I don't know. I just get really agitated when I see the way he's running, almost like a corporate-style patriot movement. I mean, it's like you got to have this whole patriot movement has been so infiltrated from top to bottom.
If you think about this, I've been doing Free Americans since 1994. I started the militias. I featured Bill Grites. I featured the militia of Montana. I told the story of Eric Rudolph. You know, I've done all that.
Right.
And I got, after the accident, I got no help from anyone for fear of the Jews.
Right.
And somebody just came on my chat here, said, I'm Jewish and I'm a patriot. You know, do you know William Cooper?
Then you say it doesn't apply to you. That's the best answer.
Yeah,
then say that if you feel that way, then you have nothing to worry about. But what we're talking about is a small cabal of people that are running the show. I mean, 14 million Jewish people in the world, and they run half the money.
And these elitists, the Pharisees of Jesus' day, the money changers of Jesus' day.
Right.
You know, they are the ones, and they will use the Jewish people the same way they're using the Christians, the Judeo-Christians. Saying you're a Judeo-Christian is the same thing as saying, I'm a satanic Christian, thank you.
Well, yeah, Judeo-Christianity believes that you should need to follow the orders of the federal government when they put you in concentration camps.
And it's been done. The concentration camps already been built here. It's getting ready to happen here. You know, I don't know
how much time we have left. I don't like to make a prediction, but I'm hoping that a natural disaster will happen that will maybe take out the whole planet. Then we won't have to fear that the government. We'll just have to fear Mother Nature, because it seems 2012 could be a disastrous point in ecology.
We'll still have to fear the government. They're the ones that built the underground towers. They know it's coming. They know the Planet X is coming by here, or the sun's going to explode.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of that, I mean, obviously, I don't think you totally believe in Planet X, because, I mean, do you think that there's going to be a cataclysmic event in the next year that might just wipe out half this planet?
I think it could take place right here in America. I think it could take place right here in America. Well, the New Madrid fault line, they're already preparing for it. It's in my video, True Face of FEMA. They talk about an earthquake on the New Madrid fault line.
Yeah. Speaking of your video, let me ask about your FEMA video. Since you operate on a very small budget, how did you film this? Did you just take videos off of YouTube, or did you actually go out there and have a camera crew film the stuff? How does it work?
I had a camera crew go out to Sandia Labs and film it. And then
you actually had people like with your own camera go out there and do this then?
And then Sandia Labs sent me a duplicate tape, so I have the whole thing. Yes.
Okay, so then what year did you make this video? And can it be seen online, or do people just spend the money and buy it?
They have to spend the money.
What is it, $20?
$20, and I can send it to them, yes.
$20 and you'll send it to them. Okay, and a couple bucks for shipping, make it possible.
I think it's $5. I generally ship everything priority mail. That's about $5.
Okay, so your basis for FEMA, how long of a video is it? 2 hours?
It's an hour and a half. Yeah,
right.
It's Colonel John Brinkerhoff lecturing law enforcement in Sandia Labs and Kirtland Air Force Base. And
why were you able to get in there, or why are they willing to let you have this information? It kind of sounds like, is there an agenda involved?
In case of a single outbreak of smallpox in a major metropolitan area, we'll need 400,000 well-armed, well-trained, organized, disciplined troops to control the American people, because some of them just won't follow orders.
Yeah, well, it seems like they're not going to need it, because everybody I work with and everybody I'm around always seems to go along with the program. Clayton, I know very few people that know I very rarely run into people that have as much of a perspective on things as, say, someone like you do. It's like 1 in 1,000, it seems, that really have any clue. They understand at some level, but when push comes to shove, they believe the government will solve their problems, or, something will have to give,
They want you to believe that. That's how they keep control. That's why you keep hearing about Al-Qaeda. I'm sorry, I should pronounce it properly. It's Al-CIA, duh.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. How much time? We had a couple minutes. I know you're on a half hour. Do you want to make this an hour interview then continue another one?
We got 15 more minutes to do
Okay,
this.
15 minutes. We'll go 15 more and then we'll be done. But I just wanted to get the Liberty Villages. We're all going on a tangent, but the Liberty Villages are the answer to America's getting rid of poverty, getting us on more nutritious foods, and allowing us to be ultimately more independent. And of course, hemp, you believe, is a major factor in this. You got to have the ability to grow hemp so you can have maybe.
Let's think about that for just a second. According to Popular Mechanics, in 1932, I believe it was 32, they said hemp was a $1 billion crop. It was our $1 billion crop. It was worth more money than all the cotton, all the corn, anything.
And it's great to smoke too.
Yeah, and it cures cancer. So go figure. And you eat the hemp powder. You stay healthy. You eat the hemp powder. You can make bread out of it. The thinking processes remain clear.
Yeah. Why is it that people don't understand that marijuana makes you question the government? They don't want that, because I was at a festival one time, and they were, everybody was smoking pot, and I noticed the one guy, all these intelligent people that are sitting around smoking pot, they're all questioning the government. They're having intelligent conversations, and I thought, now this is why the government doesn't want us, because they realize that if you have legalized pot, people will start thinking for themselves. Am I right about that, or is that just my opinion?
Absolutely. One friend of mine is a lady by the name of Kathy O'Brien. She wrote a book called Transformation. She was an MK Ultra slave working for Dick Cheney. Right. And Bush was molesting her daughter.
Wow.
And she told us all about it. She told us all about it. And she said, she delivered heroin to Bush, and which is why, by the way, he threw up on that Japanese dignitary.
Right. Okay. I didn't hear about that one, but
she was delivering it. She said that she could do cocaine, she could do anything, while she was screwing all of these dignitaries like Manuel Noriega, except for pot. She could not smoke pot.
She could not smoke marijuana because it may have made her question. But you know what? That's amazing, though. It has that property to be able to do that. I know people that have engineering degrees that smoke pot, and they're very functionable people. They're not these pot-smoking Cheech and Chong. I almost think that the Cheech and Chong was invented for the sole creation of demonizing marijuana, because all it did is make them look stupid.
Of course it was. And this is your joy-controlled Hollywood. That's why the biker movies, they always portrayed the bikers as the bad guys. I'm
right.
sorry.
There are more. There was a. Did you hear that story about that guy that was in the FBI that infiltrated the Hells Angels? He said that when he was a part of their biker gang, he said he felt more loyalty toward his bikers than he did his own FBI agents. Isn't that crazy? He had more of a camaraderie with the very people that he was sent to infiltrate.
That's right.
I don't know who it was. I'll have to find out and get the stats or the information. But I believe that bikers are more loyal than even FBI agents are toward each other.
That's true.
I don't know. It's just. But yeah, you're right. They demonize the bikers are all a bunch of methamphetamine drug dealers, and that's just not true.
They're afraid of us. They're afraid of us. We're organized, and we don't take any shit off anybody. You know?
Right.
But
now, when you were a biker, I mean, obviously you're a family man. What kind of things do bikers offer society? Are they? A lot of them seem like they're kind of brainwashed by a lot of the media propaganda. Am I correct? Because you've run into that problem with bikers yourself, right?
When my first club went to the Banditos, my second club went to the Hells Angels. I don't fly a patch. I don't ride with any clubs anymore because I write about everybody. Do
you have tattoos?
No, I don't have any tattoos.
I don't have any either, and I must be crazy. I'm another crazy one that every one of my students that I have has a tattoo, and every girl I know has a tattoo. Am I crazy or what? Maybe I'm living in an insane. I'm insane.
I don't have any tattoos, and I've been riding for 50 years, so I don't have any tattoos. But that's not the thing. We are organized. Yeah. We are not afraid. I mean, you know, I face death every day. You know, people after my accident, everybody's going, "Aren't you afraid? Aren't you afraid?" And I go, you know, well, you ever trip? You're afraid to fucking walk? No, I'm not afraid to ride.
Right. Yeah, it seems like you're making an impact, but you're making an impact with a lot of people play. But I think mobilization needs to be the next step, and mobilization means that people are going to have to start getting these Liberty Villages off the ground, getting people to somehow meet and stop being afraid of being labeled.
I have gotten right now. I've got land available to us. All we have to do is come up with the money. $3,000, $6,000. You can put up 2 teepees, about 5,000.
Yeah.
1 or 2 teepees. Put up 2 teepees.
Yeah.
Live in one of them, rent the other one out.
Yeah.
Give 50 bucks.
You know what I'm wondering,
Get
Clayton?
$50 a night for that.
I'm wondering, Clayton, if the days of us ever, you know, like in the 60s, you could easily drive a VW across the country and be free. I wonder if those days are over with. I mean, I'm wondering if our government is going to keep it to the point where you will never be free without being subservient to the system. It seems like that's where we're at.
Well, I'll tell you what, I do believe we got a natural disaster coming down. I think it's going to come down on the New Madrid fault line. I believe they could actually set off an atomic bomb up there. We got 17 power plants, nuclear power plants, and possibly open up the New Madrid fault line and turn the Mississippi River now into an inland sea. I think that's what we've got coming. I think they've been planning that for 10 years since I made the True Face of FEMA video.
Really? Okay. And that's obviously going to happen. And so are your kids? You said your kids are not concerned about this at all at this point.
Yeah, they don't care. They're living their life. They're doing just like I did. I was in the same headspace, making a lot of money, traveling all over the country.
Now your one owns a farm. Is that correct? He owns a chicken farm.
What's that?
One of your kids is a chicken farmer?
No.
He actually has a free-range chicken farm, or?
No. That's my plan for the Liberty Villages.
Oh, okay. I thought okay. I see. Well, I mean, we all want our kids to do. I don't have kids, but I can understand that you want your kids to do very well. So you're probably just letting them live their lives out the way they need to, and maybe it's the best thing for them.
Well, it's dangerous to be around me, so I don't urge anybody to be around me.
Yeah. Oh, you mean it's dangerous sarcastically, as if you're some dangerous villain. I know.
No. I'm saying that half a dozen of my guests on my show were put in jail after being on my show. Their children were kidnapped after being on my show. One of them was approached by Homeland Security.
Right.
Wanted to know why he was coming on the Clay Douglas show.
Yeah. But could that happen to even someone like me? I mean, I'm willing to, obviously I'm out in the open, I'm willing to accept it, but anything could happen to anybody, am I correct?
Yes.
Right, so it's kind of the price you pay for being willing. How come John, like, there's a lot of, like, I would think that a guy like John Kaminsky would be harassed, but he seems to pretty much be a guy that speaks his mind and doesn't really deal with harassment at this point.
He speaks his mind. He's a writer. And,
yeah, he's
frankly,
very
the writers, you know, John Kaminsky is somebody that I always feature, always bring on my show.
Yeah. Very good knowledge of the. When you read his earlier articles from the early 2000s, he talked about questioning our humanity. He's got such a great command of the English language. It's amazing.
Yes, he's a good guest, and he's telling the truth. But
yeah,
we're
coming on running out of time, right?
Yes, we're running out of time here.
Okay, before we end the show, let me ask a question. Is it, what do you recommend people do as far as Liberty Villages? How do they get involved? What's the website?
All you have to do is go to libertyvillages.org.
Okay, all one word.
Go to freeamerican.com, click on the Liberty Village banner, and that'll take you there.
And that'll tell you what your options are, right?
Yeah, and there's only one option. Call me. Call me, tell me what you got. I got land available in Sturgis, South Dakota, right here.
Right.
And there's 5 lots that would hold about 20 teepees on each one of those, right around the corner from one of the biggest biker rallies in the world.
Right.
It'd be a great way to start Liberty Villages. If we get the financing to do one village, which would be probably under $50,000. That would give you a restaurant, 20 teepees, and the equipment to start the farming and the hydroponics and that type of thing.
Right, farming. That's another thing. People should learn how to do hydroponic, plant their own tomatoes, and they could learn to do their own thing. And God, we are so far from. We're so dependent on the system. It's not funny.
It's going to be a turnkey system. We'll set you up. We'll show you how to build it. We'll show you how to structure it. You put the piping all around it. You put water in the pipe. You pump that all around into the different tanks. You put algae in there. You grow the algae. You skim it off.
Biofuel. You can take septic tank gas and use it as methane gas.
That's right.
Septic tanks give off methane. You could use a public septic system for methane gas.
That's right.
It's amazing. All this technology's out there, and we're just wasting it, or not taking advantage of it, I should say.
We will. We will. Just takes a few people getting involved. Going to your neighborhood, talking to your neighbor. My God, I lived in Miami for 8 years. I don't know who my next door neighbor was.
Yeah, I know, and that seems to be the norm. That's not an exception to the rule. That's the rule. Clayton, I'm going to tell you something. I've really enjoyed having you as a guest on my radio podcast. I'm going to do more of these because you're one of the few people, you and John Kaminsky and maybe a handful of others, really explain to almost a T what's wrong with America. I mean, honestly, you're a little gruff sometimes and hardcore, but I think that people get the message from you that you're frustrated and you're telling the truth, and people need to start listening, and we need to get off our ass and start doing something.
What do you mean, gruff? You talking about me? You talking to me?
Exactly, but you want to know something?
What do you mean yelling at you? You want to hear me yell?
I'll beat your ass. But you know what? Sometimes you have to be a little rough on the edges to get people to listen. And I think that you're making a good. I mean, we're making it. We're not going to compete with obviously Chris Matthews. The guy's a real sleazebag. All them people in the mainstream media. But you're making an effort to reach out, and your Liberty Villages are a great way to start. I think we're gonna next show we'll do it on the factory farming or something, because we'll talk about.
All right, I'll be looking into that and investigating more.
Yeah, do more investigation on that so we can kind of get people to understand why we need to eat farm-fed cattle instead of this crap we're eating right now.
Range-fed beef, man. I that's what my children were raised on, range-fed beef. All right, we're out of time here.
Okay, today's date is June 24, 2011, and that was my interview with Clayton Douglas of the Free American. Go to freeamerican.com, all one word, or libertyvillages.org, all one word. And you have a great day, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. God bless.